Now then, people, it's Joe or Leeds TV. Looking a bit different, had a fresh cut, fresh trim, looking fresh and clean. Hope everyone is okay. This is your Rotherham preview. Really nervous about the game ahead, I'm not gonna lie. You know, normally I sit here and say, listen, we're gonna batter them, but I don't know. There's something in here that's telling me, you know, to be a little bit worried, and I think a lot of it's to do with the run of form that we're on. Obviously, we've lost 4 of the last 5 games. Stoke wasn't great, obviously going down there and sort of ran out of ideas. And we struggle to break them down, and I think Rotherham could be a similar... Obviously, they don't have the quality Stoke possess. There is plenty of quality at Stoke, especially that back three. They were solid, but I just see a similar... You know, they're going to have banks of 4, aren't they? They're going to be really difficult to break down. 10 men behind the ball at times. We just need to make sure the boys are on it like they were against Derby, and hopefully we'll come away with a positive result. We have to. It's a must win, especially going into the Norwich game, and more to the point, the fact Norwich and Sheffield United are playing each other. It's a must win game. I just want to begin as well to say, you know, shout out to them 12 sides that didn't sign that letter that's gone to the EFL. So I'm just going to name check them now and just say thank you. West Bromwich Albion, Sheffield United, Chef Wednesday and Rotherham. Big up Yorkshire for that. You've got the Brummies in both Birmingham and Aston Villa. QPR, Bolton, Stoke, Wigan and Reading. Big shout out, because, you know, these teams that, you know, some of the names on the list that have actually checked for us to be investigated, you know, like Millwall's, Blackburn, you know, it's just laughable. So big shout out, especially to the Yorkshire boys that have stuck. You know, there are rivals, you know, derbies, all that, but they put that aside, you know, and they can see it for what it is. And I just wanted to shout them out and name check them. So any of them are you know, fans that are watching this, I know Brummy Joe watches our videos, for example, and even he's come out and said, look, we've got you back at Birmingham, you know, it is what it is. And that's all I'm going to talk about on Spygate and all that shit. It's really doing my head in, your head in, everyone else's head in. And it's going to continue to do so until it gets sorted. You know, we know Bielsa's gone down there and had his meeting with the FA. You know, we just want to know the answers now. Come on. Pull your finger out of your ass, Sean Harvey, and let us know what's going on. Moving on to the game itself then. So the press conference. Bielsa has confirmed that KP is going to start at centre-back. I think if Berardi maybe had been fit, maybe he'd have gone in there, and then there might have been a switch around. A lot of people are calling for Halmi. I can understand why. As I've explained to you know, Rotherham, there's going to be long balls, you know, there's going to be throw-ins, you know, talking into the box jobbies. Much like Stoke back in the Prem, Rory Delap, there's going to be set pieces. We are going to get peppered from up on high, you know, and do you want Halmi in there, especially from set pieces. But, you know, Cooper's in there, so we've got enough there, hopefully, and I can understand why he would go with KP, because he's gone there before and he's done a job there before. Yes, we'd all like to see him in his preferred position. We'd all like to see everyone in the preferred position. You know, Phil A came out this week and said, since Bielsa's taken over, we've had 13, yes, 13 different back 4 combinations. You know, that's massive. You know, there's been no continuity there, and that's not because of, you know, he hasn't know who to play. It's just genuinely down to suspensions and injuries. So, you know, that's going to trouble any side. The one massive thing from that is the fact that we have 11 clean sheets with a team that hasn't played together all that much in terms of your back 4. You know, it's the same personnel, but just moving around. You know, you've had Shackleton in there, you've had Leif Davis, you've had Pearce, you know, Douglas, centre-backs, you've had KP, Halmi, Janssen, Cooper. We've never had a continued back 4, you know. And the fact that we've got 11 clean sheets is massive, so well done the boys. There's only Middlesbrough who've got more than us, and they've got 13, and we know how they play, you know. So the fact that we're up there shows how good we've been. Another big plus for me is Kiko Casilla's gone straight in. I think we all thought and hoped he would, and he's gone straight in there. And that's one thing I will say. When I did Monday Night Football and people were commenting in the video about about the game at Tadcaster Albion between the under-23s and Southampton, which the boys won 3-2, so well done for that. Kiko Casilla seemed to be pretty demanding, claimed a lot in the air, and also, you know, was berating orders at the back 4 in English. So he's going to be ideal for me, because let's be honest, even if you're on, yes, BPF's going to be amazing and future #1, or if you're on the guy on my side, which is I don't think he's all that great. Sorry, I'm entitled to my opinion, as everyone knows. He was flappy from set pieces, very, very flappy. He was one of them keepers that if he felt a slight nudge, it was ref, you've got to give it for a free kick. They've touched me. That's not what it's about. And I think with Cassie, we're going to have someone who's going to be pretty demanding and commanding. Sorry. So that's going to be a massive plus. In terms of the lineup, the one thing that does worry me, not so much the starting 11, it's more the bench. As I said to you when I was down at Stoke at half-time, I turned to the lads that were there. What do we do at half-time? Who do we bring on? Who can we bring on to affect this game? You know, we've got to be happy in the knowledge that Douglas and Dallas are both fit. Bielsa said they're both fit. Don't think they're going to make the team sheet. The fact that, you know, they're due to play in the under-23s on Monday. So that's fair enough. But we've got bodies coming back. Obviously, Izzy continues to play. Bamford was training yesterday by all accounts, and he's due for a start in the under-23s next week. You know, not Monday, maybe the Monday after. So the boys are coming back. You know, I've had time to think, reflect, take on what people have said. I'm really excited now by the James prospect of bringing him in, of bringing in Daniel James. And the reason I say that is, it's very much like Clarke. And wouldn't it be awesome to have Clarke and James on opposing wings? You know, let's just look at it in terms of numbers, yeah? And let's say James is very much like Clarke. He gets to the byline, crosses in, he looks for assists, he's dangerous, he looks to cut in, he looks to score goals. Clarke's done that. And Clarke has 2 assists to his name in the short games that he's played. Obviously, he's come on at half-time, as we know, and obviously he's had his starting berths. He has 2 assists. Alioski has 4. Alioski has 4. Playing in a similar position, and he only has 4. And now Alioski, correct me if I'm wrong, has played nearly every fucking minute. Jack Harrison, for example. Clarke has 2 more than him, and Jack Harrison's played almost double the amount of games Jack Harrison has played almost double the amount of games of what Clarke has. So for me, if we can bring James in, which I think we will, it looks really positive. You know, the longer we wait, the less the transfer fee is. I think that's the game Leeds are playing. It's a dangerous game, but it looks like that's the way they're playing. Look, the longer we wait, they can't get bodies out of the door. We can go in with a nice little sum towards the end of the window, and Swansea are going to snap our hands off. So I think it is done. Or not done, but will be done, and I think James is keen on it as well. Why wouldn't you be? You know, Leeds is a massive club. Shows how far we've come, because previously teams wanted to know. I think even if you take Harvey Barnes, for example, at the start of the season, he was on his way to Leeds. West Brom came in. He's probably looked at Leeds, looked at the history over the most recent history, 10, 15 years. And now, fuck that, I'd rather go to West Brom. Maybe people would normally rather stay at Swansea. But now not so much. We're on his way back, you know, and we're top of the tree. So and Marcelo Bielsa. So hopefully he'll be through the door next week. Clarke's definitely staying for me. Phil Hayes come out and said he was actually contacted by the club, specifically by the club, to say, look, he's going nowhere. Put that out. They want him to put that out in the press, to say to all these other clubs, there's no point. You know, Palace have sniffed around, Southampton have sniffed around, no official bid coming from Tottenham, but apparently they're sniffing around. And it's a case of saying, look, he's going nowhere in this window. And then if we go up, obviously, even if they were looking to sell, or I don't think they would in the first season, but obviously, you know, second season in the Prem, they might look to cash in, and the amount of money you'd be getting then is crazy. Obviously, we don't want him to leave, but I can understand why the club's saying, for a change, you know, to say, no, hands off, not going anywhere, and you can understand why. So, yeah, on to Rotherham. Tight game, as I've expect. You know, I've told you about, you know, the set pieces. You know, I'm not going to profess to know everything in terms of personnel at Rotherham, and I think that's been quite a common theme. Obviously, I listen to the boys at Talking Shot, I listen to LS11, I listen to the Square Ball, and everyone's got that running theme. I think the Square Balls struggle to even name fucking previous Rotherham players. But listen, they're not having a great time themselves. By all accounts, Warren's come out today and says, look, they've only got about 18 bodies fit. You know, that's almost as bad as Leeds' fucking personnel troubles. One thing Warren did say was we're like City, we're like Man City. That's a great, you know, that's great praise from an opposing manager. And that's why I was talking, you know, about Clarke and James. Them two boys on the other wing are our answer to Sterling and Sané. Bit tongue-in-cheek, do you know what I mean though? But imagine Clarke and James on either wing. Imagine James does exactly the same as Clarke. He's affected games so much in such a short space of time. Look at the Villa goal, look at his performance against Derby. If you had that on the opposing wing, lads who are not afraid to cut inside, have efforts on goal, run to the byline, cross them in, for someone like Roof and Bamford, you know, you're going to be laughing. So Clarke and James, our answer to Sané and Sterling, you've heard it here first. But back to Rotherham, you know, they've only lost 3 at home all season. A lot of draws, you know, a few wins, but they've only lost 3 at home. It's going to be a big test. But, you know, I mean, Wigan have faltered of late, you know, in terms of the home form. But before we went to Wigan, if you remember back earlier on in the season, they hadn't lost at home for fecking a long time, since League One, I believe. But Rotherham, yeah, they've lost 3 at home all season, which is very good home form. It tells you all you need to know about their away form, to be fair. But to be fair, even at Ellen Road, when we started the season so well, they caused us problems. They were one of the first teams to do so, at ER especially, and then obviously I think we lost to Birmingham not long after. But you know, up until that point, we battered Stoke, we battered Norwich, we battered Derby, and all this stuff, and then Rotherham actually caused us real problems, and that's because of how they set up and how they'll be difficult to break down, and we need bodies to be on it, you know, and that's why that bench as well, and bringing in personnel like James is so pivotal, because at the minute we don't have someone like a Saiz or a James or a Clarke to come off the bench. Obviously Clarke's starting. If you can't affect the game, who's coming off the bench to grab the game by the scruff of the neck? You know, Roberts, he's great, potential, really good. I really like Roberts, but he's not that player, and that's why we need bodies in. But I am really nervous as I keep going back. You know, the losses that they lost at Rotherham, they lost 3-2 to Hull earlier on in the season, but we know Hull are a very good side. They got battered 4-0 by West Brom. We all know about West Brom because they did something similar to us. And they lost most recently 4-2 to Brentford. Now Brentford are a decent outfit. You know, I think they're in a decent bit of form as well. You know, I mean, they battered Stoke the week before, I believe we played them. Was it 3-1? And then they followed that up with a 4-2 win at Rotherham. So Brentford are a very good side. But so are we. Do you know what I mean? So are we. And if we're on it, you know, we could take Rotherham to pieces. I think City had beat them earlier on in the season, crazy cricket score. But I am really nervous. You know, someone came to me earlier on in the week and said, you know, do you ever think fucking Leeds will lose you? Every time I watch your videos, you expect them to win. You know, I was like, yeah, but you do, right? You go into every game and you look at it positively and think, yeah, if we do X, Y, Z, we can win this game. And this has been the first game that I've been genuinely nervous in. It's Rotherham. I don't know why it is, but I think it's pivotal. We have to score first. And if we score first, I fancy us to win comfortably. I'm not in terms of score. I don't think we'll score many, at most maybe 2-0. But it'll be a comfortable performance. Get that early goal or score first, at least, before half-time preferably, and we control the game, control possession. Rotherham are chasing shadows. If we fail to score first and Rotherham, that's when it gets difficult for me. I do believe we will score. The one positive that I took out from Stoke is that we scored. Because we have scored in every single away game this season. I believe we're the only team to do so. Yeah, you can look at it and say, yeah, we scored against Stoke in the last minute. What the fuck does it mean? But it does a lot for lads' mental state and to know to keep going, because we will get a goal, and it does it for us as fans as well. You know, look what's happened before. Look at Villa and look at Blackburn. You know, the mentality. And the fact they scored late on, it shows, listen, it doesn't matter where we go, we will score. We're always in games, and that's what it'll do mentally for the guys. And that was a big positive from Stoke, is the fact that we did score and continued that form of scoring in every game away from home. So, you know, if we score first, like I've said, comfortable. If they score first, something's telling me it'll be ones apiece, and that's where I'm nervous. That's not normally how I am. Look, if they score first, I could feel a draw, and we just can't afford to do that. And hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully we score first and we win comfortably. But listen, if they score first, it'll be a tough day, very tough day. I genuinely believe that. And people like Click and Pablo just don't seem to be on it at the moment for me. And you need them to be on it against a team like this, because they need to find them little intricate passes. You know, it was so evident at Stoke that Clark and Click and Pablo just ran out of ideas, and it kept going out wide and balls into the box, and we just can't afford that again. So them boys need to be on it, and fingers crossed they will, because it's such a massive game, especially leading up to Norwich. And the fact that Norwich play Sheffield United. But I'm going to stick my neck out and say that we will win the game 2-0. As long as we score early. As I've said, I think if they score first, we could pick up a point, in all honesty. And I know that's a bit of a drab ending and not normally my style, but I just have a feeling, yeah. And that's how it is. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you like that, and if you did, make sure you hit the like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're almost at 5k, and that 5k giveaway is looking sweet. As I say, I've started to have stuff come through the door now, so we'll be putting together that hamper, and hopefully one of you guys watching this video will win that. You know, we can meet you at ER before a game, hopefully, and give you them goodies. Lots of good stuff. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you check out Oscar and Conor's preview, and of course Connor's video, Be Heroes, quality video about the 18 Cup finals. We're coming up. You know, there's a lovely little touch in there for Toby and I as well, so make sure you tune into that, guys, and watch that. And obviously, I think Conor will be hooking you up with Friday Night Football tomorrow, so make sure you look out for that. But it's been a pleasure as always, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're marching on. 18 Cup finals. Let's fucking do this. Come on. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.